Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Lamont Black, Associate Professor of Finance, and I will be the moderator for today's information session on the Department of Finance and Real Estate. Thank you for joining us. So our goal today is to just give you some updates about curriculum, some student organizations, and other programs that you might be interested in. So some of you are likely already majors in the department, but some of you might be here because you're considering it. And so we just want to give you kind of a broad overview. So the chat is open, and we would encourage you to use the chat to say hello, make any comments, or especially ask any questions that you might have as we're going through these presentations. We will have some time at the end for Q&A, so happy to take questions then in the live audio, but we've got a lot of material to cover for the next hour, so we'll jump in and get started. First, I would like to introduce the chair of the Department of Finance and Real Estate, Tom Berry.
Thanks, Lamont, and thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it, and particularly the participants here, the faculty, staff, and students who I know will do a great job. Look, the reason you're in college is to build your human capital, right? And eventually turn that into a career. And that human capital consists of content, your knowledge base, as well as all the skills and tools you learn, and the networks you build, and all the other parts, emotional intelligence, etc. Any major can give you the content, but we in the Finance and Real Estate Department think we can really build those other parts. And today you're going to hear not just about the knowledge part, but about the student groups, the academy, the honors program, and a number of other things that can really help you for the future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom. All right, so we're going to jump in now with some discussion about curriculum. So I'll be talking about the finance curriculum, and then Steve Bell will be talking about real estate. And my goal in just giving you this initial introduction is to help you understand what the courses are that are required in finance for a major or a minor. And these are actually relatively new. We've made some changes for this next academic year, so I want to make sure that everyone's clear about that. So as you can see here on this slide, the business core continues to require Finance 310, which is our introduction to finance. And so that gives you a broad overview of the field. And we would encourage you, if you're interested in finance, to try and take that relatively early in your time at DePaul. And then the business core has a money and banking requirement. And if you're interested in finance as a major, then you would need to take our version of that course, which is Finance 320. That's a course that I teach and other faculty in finance, and sort of an introduction to financial markets, institutions, interest rates, and kind of the big picture for the financial system. Then one of the courses that we're going to hear about even more from Joe Kaczynski is Finance 250, which is career exploration and professional development. So this is a course that really introduces you to the professional side of the field, getting you up to speed on different career paths, and also, most importantly, helping you to get started on those paths. And so one of the things we want to encourage is for students to take that course, Finance 250, relatively early so that they can start pursuing internships and so on. So you'll hear more about that. Then the three courses that are kind of core to the finance major are the three here at the bottom: Finance 311, Corporate Finance, Finance 315, Data Analytics in Finance, and Finance 330, Investments. So 311 and 330 are sort of the two pillars of finance, the corporate side and the investment side. And so that's kind of the foundation of our curriculum. And then a new course that's being added to the curriculum this year across all the majors is a course in data analytics. And so Finance 315 will focus on using those skills to analyze data for financial applications. That will become available this coming winter. And so we encourage you to keep an eye out for that and take that as soon as you can, because I think data analytics is a very important and growing part of the field. Next slide. So once you've taken those courses, we then have a range of finance electives. You will need to take 20 hours of finance courses in order to complete a finance major. And these are just some examples. There's other courses in the course catalog that we would encourage you to check out. But for instance, if you're interested in banking, there's Finance 323 and 324, commercial banking, banking and credit analysis. We also offer financial statement analysis. So those of you who maybe are taking accounting or an accounting minor, there's a very strong overlap between financing and accounting, and financial statement analysis is a good way to develop those skills. Then if you're considering investments, we offer electives like Finance 336, equity research. One component of the business core is the international requirement. And so there's many different ways you can fulfill that, but one is through taking a course that has an international component. So we actually offer 2 different courses in finance that can fulfill the international requirement: Finance 340, international finance, and then 355, global IPOs and venture capital. And then a new and growing area of field that's actually a specialization of our department is in behavioral finance. If you follow the GameStop story or other things going on in the stock market, you realize that there's a growing interest in this aspect, especially in investing. So that would be an interesting elective for some of you to consider. Now, one thing that's new about this coming academic year is we are allowing students to take one course outside of the finance department as a fulfillment of the major. And part of this is a recognition that there are other skill sets that you may want to develop, which could help you in your finance, excuse me, career path. So for instance, accounting. If you feel like you would like more accounting, which can be very important for areas of banking and others, you could take accounting 304, financial reporting, or if you're in the honors program, 307. If you want a little bit more of the economics behind finance, finance builds on many of these economic models, you might want to take intermediate microeconomics or macroeconomics. Any course in real estate. So we are the Department of Finance in Real Estate. So we strongly want to encourage collaboration and integration across these 2 areas. You can use a course in real estate towards a finance major. And then if you are aware, there's very much interest in programming and analytics, as I mentioned. So if you want to take more programming or analytics in the School of Computing and Digital Media, there's a couple courses there, or in the math department, statistical analysis or applied probability. These are all more quantitative technical courses, but there are certainly career paths in finance where you would benefit greatly from these skills. So these are all courses that we've listed as qualifying courses. These are not examples. That's the full list that you just saw. But if you're interested in that, we would encourage you to pay close attention to the course catalog. And then finally, the finance minor. So if you are here and you're either considering finance or you're majoring in another field, but would like to add more finance to your curriculum, we strongly encourage a finance minor. So that would include the business core, which would, for all students, you're required to take. And then those 2 foundational courses, Finance 311, Corporate Finance 330, and Investments, and then 2 additional electives or 8 credit hours. And so that would be 2 courses, one of which could be from these non-finance courses that I just showed you. So we think this is a relatively flexible minor that should be attractive to a number of students. Now, if you have any questions about these 3 slides I've just presented, here's an email address that you can shoot an email to or continue to post things in chat as they come to mind. We will also have contact information at the end of the presentation if you have any additional questions. All right, so then I will now pass it over to my colleague, Joe Kaczynski, to really highlight this career and communication course, Finance 250.
Thank you, Lamont. I'm going to talk about 2 things. One will be about Finance 250. And then secondly, I'm going to briefly touch on some of the types of careers that one can have with a finance undergrad. So hello, I'm Joe Kosinski. I'm a part-time adjunct professor in the finance department. I'm a DePaul alumnus, a donor, and a former recruiter. I retired from the corporate world about 5 years ago after 38 years in business roles as a finance director and a compliance officer. I recruited financial talent for 20 years, and I hired over 50 entry-level and countless interns from DePaul. So I know how the process works. As part of the Dean's Office direction to improve students' placement in internships and post-graduation entry-level jobs, the finance department had me develop Finance 250. Finance 250 is a half course, 2 credit hours, and it helps students learn and practice job-seeking skills. Finance 250 is mandatory, required for achieving an undergrad finance degree at DePaul. Excuse me. Finance 250 covers the continuum of job search steps, from self-awareness, do I really want to do this, to developing one's own story, to verbalizing that story in an elevator speech, to writing it in a resume, to selling it to employers via a cover letter and in interviews, to seek help through using mentors and networking, and Martin Essenberg is going to talk more about that, and to broadly communicate your digital brand in LinkedIn. All of the Fin 250 instructors invite experienced finance professionals and executives to interact with our students. If you could jump ahead, the skills that are taught and practiced in Finance 250 are essential to getting an internship. So if, Heather, you could skip ahead to a couple of slides. DePaul's goal is to have at least 85, one more please. DePaul's goal is to have at least 85% of students experience an internship. And that goal is from the president. Over 80% of entry-level post-graduation jobs are attained from an internship. And that's current data from a survey of a number of employers from the National Association of Colleges and Employers. So if you think about that 80% number, if you can accomplish 2 internships, and for any one of those, you've got an 80% chance of getting a job after graduation, you really greatly improve your chances. So as Lamont said, we recommend that students take Finance 250 early during the sophomore year in order to be prepared to do internships in both summers after your sophomore year and your junior year in order to maximize your job ready experience. So Heather, if you can go back one slide. So these are just examples of the types of careers one can have in finance. Martin Essenberg will talk more about investments in banking, but various roles, whether it be on the regulation side, on the customer facing side, and typically half of the DePaul finance undergrads end up working in corporate finance. And those corporate finance roles will include things like financial planning and analysis, treasury, product pricing, forecasting, risk management, and internal audit. So I'll be around for the rest of the session for any questions that you might have either about those types of jobs or about Fin 250. Matt, back to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Joe. So there you have kind of the picture of the finance curriculum, both required courses and Joe's pitch for 250 and the encouragement to take that as early as you can, because we often find finance students getting into the senior year starting to think about their job prospects and trying to get employed after graduation. But we want you to be thinking about that as juniors, even sophomores, and now the trend is even as freshmen, starting to get some of those early internships, especially in those summers, so that you can prepare for those job interviews. So 250 is a great way to prepare for that. All right, so with that, we will now hand it over to our real estate colleagues to talk about the real estate major and some of the opportunities and offerings through real estate. And I will hand it over to my colleague, Steve Bell.
Okay, let me share my screen and we'll get started. So the real estate program as part of the finance department is much like the finance program, except we have a special twist because we have these things called buildings as part of our discipline. So there's a whole physical component, which is key to being a successful real estate investor. Our program can be described best as focusing on commercial real estate finance and investment analysis. The operative word is commercial. So we really do not deal with the buying and selling of houses for personal use. So we're really looking at commercial properties, which are office buildings, shopping centers, warehouses, those kinds of properties. And we focus on how to finance, invest in those properties. So we work very hard to help our students learn about investing and developing and financing these income producing properties. The program we use really is the major requirement is 28 quarter hours and starts with Real Estate 250. So I'm not going to go into the detail that Joe did because the courses are very similar. Our 250 really focuses on real estate and the real estate professionals and their job activities and job skills, but it's a very similar program. In addition, we have a program on real estate law. Real estate law is a specific subset of general law and very important to the investment in real estate. So we have a course on that. Doesn't make you a lawyer, but it makes you aware of real estate law. And then Real Estate 320, Urban Planning and Public Policy, is really a course that talks about how did we get here? So part of owning real estate, investing in real estate is understanding the urban context that the properties will fall in. So it's a program, it's a quarter course on how the cities are planned and developed. Project Management 325 is a similar program. It's a background program to give you some idea of how buildings are built, designed, and constructed. But the core of our program are Real Estate 350, 352, 353, and 354, which are the analytical and investment components, starting with Real Estate 350. And the next course, 352, is a finance course. And then 353, which I'm teaching right now, is an investment course. And in that investment course, we actually introduce a special real estate software called Argus. So you end up, when you finish that course, being pretty proficient at Argus, and that's an important criterion to get to those very good jobs with the big investment houses. And then finally, 354 is a market valuation course that lets you understand how value is determined in real estate. So in addition to those major requirements, we also have a minor, and we have many, for instance, finance majors and real estate minors. So it's a very good combination. We do have some accounting majors and real estate minors. And the minor requirement is similar. You have to take Real Estate 350, which is the sort of the beginning course in real estate, and then 3 additional courses, sort of real estate courses of your choice. And the result of that program really does work hard at developing students' financial skills. There's a big focus on financial skills. We do a lot of casework, real estate investing casework to hone your decision-making skills. As I said before, we do cover the basic laws and regulations of real estate. We do deal with site development and the planning issues. And then finally, as in Real Estate 353, we spend quite a bit of time looking at real estate analysis and evaluation for investment. So as a result, the job opportunities that open for real estate students are really extensive. Real estate's a very sort of labor-intensive asset class. So there are lots of jobs in it in different areas. So you might end up with a job as an appraiser, and a job as a finance individual, financing real estate development, real estate marketing and sales, otherwise known as real estate brokerage, real estate investments, working for a private equity firm, real estate management, asset management, and property management, and real estate planning and consulting. So there are a number of job opportunities that are available for students graduating from this program. The skill level is very high. So employers do like the skills that you come to them with. We also have something a little special. It's called a real estate center, which is a center of excellence that exists side by side with the real estate program. And it's a program, it's a center of real estate executives who are sponsors to our program and are actively engaged with our program and our students. So it does allow the students to have a direct interaction with some of the senior leaders in the real estate community in Chicago. The Real Estate Center allows us, and the sponsors allow us to run a bunch of student services programs. So we have an active mentoring program. We have a very active internship and job placement program. We do have a career counseling program. And we do offer private scholarships. These are not DePaul scholarships, or scholarships that the Real Estate Center develops through private donations. Last year, we gave out over $100,000 in scholarships to our real estate students. We do sponsor the Real Estate Club, which is a very active group that brings in executives from the real estate industry for presentations and panel discussions. And the Real Estate Club also sponsors some networking events, so you can sort of meet the other people in your business. And then we hope host many networking opportunities that allow you to engage with real estate executives in the industry in Chicago. So if you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or you can find more information about us online. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. And do we have a student from real estate today?
Yes, I thought he might join you for your discussion of the clubs, but
Oh, I'm right here. I don't know.
Go ahead, Alex.
All right, Alex from real estate.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I guess just to speak to, I mean, jumping off of what Professor Bell said, the classes are really, I think real estate finance and the Argus modeling class have been, really helpful for, just entering sort of my actual professional career. I'm still a senior right now, but I'm working, a part-time job right now at a development shop, mostly doing analysis, investment analysis and asset management stuff. So those classes have really come in helpful. And, job placement and internships, I think I've done 4 internships so far, and 3 of them were through DePaul. So, the real estate center, their job posting program. So definitely, that's been a huge help, I think, kind of getting started, and definitely where I'm at right now. I think the previous experience was a really big selling point. So I know previously the Finance Center was talking about how internships are really important. And I think, the position that I applied to, they were looking for somebody with at least 2 years of, kind of experience in the industry. And even though I was still a student, because I had the 2 years worth of internship experience, they were willing to consider me. And luckily I landed the position. So I'd really stress that internship experience is super important. And, my experience, the Real Estate Center has been a huge help with that. And also they sponsor a lot of programs like the Real Estate Club, which I'm the vice president of. Networking events are really, really important as well, just gain connections. And, real estate and finance, I think, are really somewhat like relationship oriented businesses. So just networking can get you really far. So I guess that's all I have to say. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
All right, well, thank you, Alex and Steve. So there you have a good summary of the real estate part of the department, both the curriculum and many of the activities that are available. And Alex kind of reemphasizing the role of internships. So you heard it from Joe and from Alex now that these are an important part of your experience at DePaul. So if you're getting started, we encourage you to be doing those internships as early as possible. So now we're going to talk about some of the student clubs available through finance. And these clubs are open to any student, real estate or otherwise as well. So these are very inclusive clubs. And I think these clubs are another good example of how you can network as a student, meeting other students or also professionals through guest speakers and other networking events. So first we'll hear from the Student Finance Association.
Thank you, Professor Black. So why get involved? Student organizations present many opportunities to learn more about yourself, your goals, your strengths, and your career aspirations. Through connecting with like-minded individuals such as students and professionals, student organizations enhance and give clarity to the type of experience that you aspire to have at DePaul. For instance, clubs within the Department of Finance and Real Estate aim to solidify your career interests and knowledge on the prospective field that you choose. However, many of us don't know where to start. Questions such as, how do I know if this is the right career for me? Where do I start? These type of questions are very common within us students, which is why I, Steve Palacios, the president of the Student Finance Association, and our team are here to help, with an emphasis on exposing students to a variety of careers within the financial services industry. The Student Finance Association helps bridge the gap between our students and their understanding of the career opportunities available to them, with the goal of helping you find the best fit within the finance field. We expose students to a variety of careers. And we do this by focusing on a specific industry each month, where we equip you with the base level knowledge and understanding through our 3-part series, which entails learning about the career. So familiarizing yourself with the career, everything ranging from preparation to responsibilities. 2, hearing from DePaul's faculty, so absorbing yourself in DePaul's opportunities and the resources from your own DePaul professors. And then 3, engaging with industry professionals. So getting some real world stories and perspectives from people who are doing exactly what you are doing. So Heather, if you can move on to the next slide, please. All of this really is in conjunction with a community of unity and inclusivity. So if you're interested, help us help you find your finance fit.
Great, thank you, Steve. And there you can see at the bottom of this slide, so the SFA's Director of Member Relations, Miriam Intingen, there's her contact email address. And if you do have any other questions about SFA, how to join, or how to find out more about them, just put that in chat, and I'm sure Steve would be happy to respond and get you connected. That's a great opportunity for any of our students. So our second club is the DePaul Inclusion in Finance Club, and I will now hand it over to them.
Thank you, Professor Black. So hello, everyone. My name is Javon Thompson. I'm the Chief Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Officer, and I'm joined today by Chloe Carderas, our Chief Operating Officer. So answering the question, why join a finance student organization, right? Well, we all know, or at least I hope that you're already aware, that in order to really succeed and excel within this space, the realm of finance, you need to understand a few key fundamental things, right? As a finance major, you need to understand how to network, how to communicate, and ultimately you need to understand the different career paths out there within finance and understand which ones are available to you and which ones you might like. Joining a student organization is the best way to gain this experience, mainly because most organizations like DIF will immerse you in this environment, whether you like it or not, to be honest. You're essentially joining a group of like-minded individuals whom more often than not will push you out of your comfort zone and help you build those necessary skills that I just mentioned. Specifically here at DIF, however, we try to aim and focus on diverse candidates, typically because, you see those who come from underrepresented communities are typically those who find themselves in these positions without the necessary skills and tools that I just described. And, that can stem from a lot of reasons, mainly because they either don't have any family members within finance, or they might not have been born here, or simply because they don't have the same social capital that society grants others. As we already established, these things are necessary to excel within finance, and that's ultimately the main reason why we're here. We're trying to bridge the gap between qualified diverse candidates and careers within finance.
Yes, definitely. So here at DIF, we go about creating diverse, qualified candidates through a wide variety of ways. So just for example, we've hosted LinkedIn resume cover letter workshops, as well as interview workshops. So we really look to help each of our members become more advanced and help support their growth, more importantly. So we aim to help our members build hard skills such as modeling, technical analysis, and presentation skills, which were seen when we hosted our case competition this past winter quarter. So our participants presented in front of student coaches who are more advanced within DePaul students, as well as industry professionals. So we hosted events such as Excel modeling workshops and presentation skills with Patricia Cook. And we really wanted to help our participants prepare for the competition and ultimately get a learning experience.
And I do also want to add that, like Professor Black said, you do not have to be a finance major to attend or join this organization. We're open to all majors. However, as we're going to provide you with, tools and connections within the realm of finance, and we're ultimately going to prepare you for a career within that field, we would prefer that you have some sort of interest towards a career within finance.
Definitely. And if you are interested in joining, you can find our event details on LinkedIn and Instagram, and you can fill out the form that Javon just linked down. It's a member application form, and we look forward to meeting new people.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Javon and Chloe. So a lot of great energy there. And I hope that some of you who are considering finance, even if you're still not sure about the courses, you are encouraged to connect with one of these clubs. It's a great way to find out more about the field and maybe even figure out whether it's a good fit for you. All right, our third and final finance club is the DePaul Females in Finance Initiative. I believe that Sirit is going to now tell you about this club.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sirit, and I serve as co-founder and treasurer of the DePaul Females in Finance Initiative. And we have Mackenzie Larson as well, who serves as our chair of marketing and communications. And our simple goal here at the DePaul Females in Finance Initiative is to essentially close the confidence gap between men and women and help more women pursue careers in financial services while empowering them. And we came together, and by we I mean the first 8 women to join the Keeley Academy last summer, came together to start this organization, and we founded on the 4 main values of community, knowledge, growth, and empowerment. And each one of the events that we host over the quarter fits into one of those categories. Since June, we've been able to grow a community of almost 60 members, and even more as we grow every single day. We have almost 300 followers on LinkedIn and almost 15 corporate advisory board relationships that help our members by attending events, holding mentorship sessions, and also just being a part of their development here at DePaul. I encourage women to join this organization because I think that when you learn and develop with other women within DePaul, you're going to grow a network that's going to help you grow as a result. And just as the other finance organizations state, we also hold a variety of events that are more practice and application based. This past quarter, we hosted a debate tournament where we actually focused on public speaking skills. In the fall, we did something similar. And we want to make sure that women feel comfortable speaking about themselves. And in addition, the DePaul Females in Finance Initiative understands the statistics that are out there. In fact, earlier this year, the World Economic Forum came out with a report that said that now it's going to take 135 years to achieve global parity. And the pandemic has actually set us behind 36 years. So our organization is participating in the global discussion of what it means to achieve gender parity and making sure that we are in that discussion when it comes to financial services. And since then, we've also been able to help roughly 40% of our member base land at least an interview, a full-time job, or an internship as a result of directly attending our corporate events. And in addition, I'd also like to highlight that if you're a male listening to this, we also have something called the Male Alliance Group, and we're currently accepting applications for a 2020-2022 academic year. So if you're a male who's particularly passionate about helping underrepresented genders getting opportunities in finance, or you want to help and offer up your social capital and knowledge to other women and uplift your women colleagues, we genuinely invite that opportunity. And Javon is here and he can tell you how awesome it's been to have him on board with us. And I will drop a link to our organization in the chat, and we hope to see you at our next meeting next year.
Awesome. Thank you, Sirit. And as Sirat mentioned, you know, these last two clubs, the Inclusion in Finance and Females in Finance, I think represent a broader initiative at DePaul towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, you know, I think what we're seeing in the field of finance is a gradual shift towards a little more equity and inclusion. It is a field that historically has been less diverse than other fields. And so I think it's great that these students are really pushing that envelope and trying to achieve parity, as Sirat said. So any of you, I would encourage you to jump in and be part of this movement. All right, so with that, we have completed the 3 finance clubs, and our last part of this information session is a discussion of 2 programs that we often offer in the finance department, which are application-based. So they are not required for the major or the minor, but they are opportunities for students who want to go above and beyond to take more focused, rigorous curriculum, or to get involved in co-curricular activities that would really help them in their pursuit of a job following graduation. And so these 2 programs are the Honors Program and the Keeley Academy. I will now hand it over to my colleague, Sonia Lim, to tell you about the Honors Program.
Thank you, Lama. Hello, everyone. My name is Sonia Lim. I'm the Director of Finance Honors Program. Finance Honors Program is designed for our top finance students who have shown high promise and have a drive to succeed. In Honors Program, the students proceed through the program as a cohort. So you get to know each other really well as you take classes together. Finance honors courses are advanced, and also we emphasize practical applications. So you not only learn theories and techniques, but you know how they apply to real-world business settings through case studies. And the class size is small, so we have about 30 or less. And you will be able to interact with the leaders from business communities and get coaching for career or the tips for interviews and preparations in honors seminars. We have a large alumni network. So this is our 20th year of the program. And I consider our alumni as one of the strongest assets of the program. They are actively involved in mentoring students, and they heavily recruit from the program. In the next slide, I will talk about the eligibility and the requirements. If you want to apply, you need a 3.4 GPA or higher, and B+ or higher in Finance 310. We also accept application from those who are enrolled in 310 when we recruit, which is winter quarter. Finance honors students need to take honors sections of Finance 311, Corporate Finance, 330 Investments, 333 Financial Statements Analysis, and 380 Cases in Financial Decision Making. Also, they are required to take financial reporting for finance honors, which is Accounting 307. And Finance 315, you don't need to take as an honors section. Also, finance honors students take honors seminar instead of 250. So the next slide shows the timeline for the next cohort. The next cohort will be recruited in winter quarter. So the first week of the January, so that winter quarter, so I send the invitation to those who are eligible to apply. And you can apply by responding to my invitation email. When we get the applications, we schedule faculty interviews, and we make admission decisions by February. The new cohort will start their curriculum in spring. So they take Finance 311, Accounting 307, and Honors Seminar. Accounting 304 can satisfy 307 requirement, so you will have some flexibility there. In autumn, you will take 330 Investments and Honors Seminar. Winter will be for Financial Statement Analysis. And the last quarter, spring, you take case course 380. And in the course, you will have also case competition where you present your case to the industry judges. And also there will be cash prizes for that. And other requirements you can satisfy in any quarter. And in terms of scheduling, we schedule honors courses on Monday, Wednesday. So we know that 307 accounting will be Monday, Wednesday morning. And other finance honors courses will be either Monday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon. So if you have any questions, I will put my email address on chat, and just let me know if you have any questions. And I will now hand it over to Jimmy Erdmeyer, who is our finance honors student, and he will share his experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. Hey everyone, my name is Jimmy Erdmeyer, and I'm graduating in June from the Honors Finance program. I attended DePaul when I was younger, but I decided that school wasn't for me at the time. First of all, don't do that. Finish your degree, and while you're at it, give it 100%. That's what I decided to do when I returned to school a few years ago. I never thought I'd ever be an honors student, but when I came back to school, I got good grades and I was admitted to the program. Aside from the challenging coursework, the best part of the honors cohort was getting to actually know the cohort. I feel like I've made friends for life. We have a group chat going, which Chloe can attest to. It's a lot of fun in there. We've helped each other through hard times, helped each other to network, and I imagine that we will all remain in touch for a long time. The honors seminar course was invaluable. It was led by Joe Silich, who is just an awesome guy that wants to help out DePaul students as much as he can. Getting to sit with someone of Joe's caliber every week was reason enough to be in the honors program. We went over a ton of concepts that were applicable to the real world, from getting your resume straightened out to market concepts to dress and etiquette. And Joe would also bring in former students every week who graduated from the honors program as well, and they would share their experiences joining the workforce following graduation. I guess to sum it up, returning to school as an old man was one of the best decisions that I've made in my life, and I feel like being part of the honors program really helped to enrich my experience at DePaul.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jimmy, and certainly strong plug for the honors program, especially that cohort model, being able to interact with other like-minded students. And thank you, Sonia, for laying out the curriculum. So as Sonia said, the applications will be in early January. So if you are eligible, keep an eye out for that email in your inbox, and we would encourage you to apply. So as they both explained, honors is really focused on these unique curriculum for students to take, which are more advanced and more focused for this cohort. And the other program that we offer in the finance department is a co-curricular program called the Keeley Academy, which meets in the evenings and is focused on soft skills and hard skills that can help students in their internships and job opportunities so that they can really focus on transitioning from DePaul into the workforce. And so for this presentation, I will hand it over to my colleague, Martin Essenberg.
Thanks, Lamont. My name is Martin Essenberg. I'm part of the faculty here in the finance department. My professional background was investment banking. One of the things, and I'm the program director for the Keeley Academy. Before I talk about the Keeley Academy, let me just say a few things that hopefully is now resonating with all of you as students. And that's this. All these things that we are talking to you about, you should not look at these as I just have to pick, one or the other. You will find a lot of students that are involved in many of these different opportunities that we talk to you about. And that comes from the realization that when you come to college, when I first talk to a lot of freshmen and sophomores, their mindset is, well, I finished high school, now I'm in college, and when I finish college, I'm then going to focus on going to work. And hopefully what you've learned from this process and this discussion so far is that you need to be thinking about the end game and your career as soon as you can get into DePaul. In finance, finance has a lot of different opportunities, for students, both in financial services careers as well as in the corporate world. And by corporate world, I'm distinguishing between working in, banking or working in investment management versus going to work for a manufacturing company or an industrial company or tech or healthcare. A lot of these different types of disciplines in finance are looking for different characteristics. So it's different characteristics in skill base. That can be technical skills, or that can be interpersonal skills. They carry very different work-life balances. They offer very different and varied compensation paths. It is critically important for all of you to begin to identify, what is it that motivates you? What do you have interest in? What engages you? What moves you forward? And looking to understand as best as you can, what's the right segments within finance that match up with your interest level and your technical skills and your interpersonal skills. Many of jobs in finance have a very heavy marketing and communication skill path that is required, and others are very, very technical and very, very quant oriented, coding, higher level math, etc. So there's no concept of sort of a one size fits all. And the more quickly you understand that and can begin to apply that framework to your decision making, the better that you're going to be. So the Keeley Academy is a 2-year co-curricular program. So that is, you don't get course credit for this. This is on top of curriculum. We have lots of students in the Keeley Academy who are also in the honors program. We have lots of students from the Keeley Academy who've helped start all these student organizations that you're talking about. But it is really focused on students who are interested in careers in banking, capital markets, institutional investment management, and wealth management. And the focus of the Keeley Academy is connecting, students at DePaul into industry, and the focus on getting you part-time jobs during the school year, formal summer internships that will lead to full-time employment. The Keeley Academy resides at DePaul. The Keeley Center, which is one of the 3 centers in finance, is the interface between DePaul and the financial services community. So the design of this whole Keeley Academy was done in consultation with many of the industry partners and alumni in what can we do to really help students understand and position themselves to get the careers that they want. Next. So you see here the different careers that are underneath banking, capital markets, and wealth and investment management. What I can tell you is each of these are actually quite different from each other. Each of these require, different sets of knowledge, different sets of skills, different interpersonal traits. They recruit and find students at very different times in careers. So let me give an example for that. The largest banks, so if you're interested in commercial banking or corporate banking or investment banking, or you want to go to sales, trading, and research at one of the big banks, the time horizon for that and the requirements are this. You have to intern with those firms between your junior and senior year. But the recruiting for that internship between your junior and senior year many times starts 15 months in advance. So we, April 1, we already have students who are sophomores in the Keeley Academy this year already have their internships lined up for summer 2022. That's how far in advance this actually works. That's not true for all of these different disciplines here, but is increasingly becoming that way because all firms want to identify top talent and they want to engage in that. In addition to that, all financial services firms are very focused now on increasing the diversity of their workforce. And so females, minority students, et cetera, are top priorities for many of these firms. And they also are looking very much to schools like DePaul because we have diverse student bodies. These new student organizations that have been formed to promote all of this are just instrumental in positioning yourself. Okay? Employers want to hire students who have a holistic resume. And on holistic resume, that includes what student organizations are you a part of? What leadership roles did you take? What did you do besides just going to school? Okay, so they're looking for a much more well-rounded individual. So if these are careers that you see on this page that interest you, Keeley Academy, I think, is something that you should give very serious consideration to, because we help you understand what these are all about. We develop the necessary skills, and similar to the Real Estate Center, we have a very extensive, job placement focus within the Keeley Academy. Next slide. All right, so we also put a lot of emphasis on mentoring and networking. Students in the Academy have several different mentors that we pair you up with. Big push on professional development, etiquette training, and career preparation. A lot of focus on different skill base. All right, so skill base by industry is defined. Can you take a concept that you've learned and how do you apply it in a time efficient manner with a very high degree of accuracy? So Excel modeling for valuation, certifications in Bloomberg, certifications understanding the CFA and the investment management field, certifications in the securities area through FINRA are all big parts of what we do. We also have a series of industry-specific competitions that students are involved in. And now I'm going to turn this over to Daniel Weber, who is a student in the Academy and also one of the founders of the DePaul Inclusion and Finance Initiative. Daniel.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor. So yeah, hello everyone. My name is Daniel Weber. I'm a senior finance major here at DePaul, and I also joined the Academy as a junior. Kind of unsure of what I wanted to do, but I knew that banking was an option through my classes, at least heard of it. And joining the Academy was really a great decision, as it not only helped me that banking was the way to go for me, but also played a huge role in building my network, developing professionally, and also just growing more as an individual. So I met a lot of like-minded peers who were interested in careers across many different fields in finance. And as I went on through my first few quarters in the Academy, I was also able to learn more about those different career fields through the multiple professional speakers that were brought in. So something I want to touch on is this past summer, I interned at First Midwest Bank, and through the Keeley Academy's multiple professional development opportunities, such as mentorship, professional development workshops, and then also through the network that I created, I learned more to be serious about my career and also my professional development. Those are seriously important. And with all those, I could confidently say that those factors played a huge role in preparing me for my career in commercial banking and then ultimately achieving the return offer after my internship. So something else I want to touch on is the Academy is super important, as it also put me in a position to give back and also pass along some of my knowledge and insight to other students at DePaul and help them out, well, whether that be through mentorship or even the creation of DePaul Inclusion and Finance, as you mentioned. So super important to join. It's always very important, as Professor Eisenberg said, to get involved. And I can't stress this enough. In the pretty competitive job market that we have today, many employers like to see that you're taking the initiative to join competitive programs to further develop yourself as a professional. So the Keeley Academy is a great opportunity to do this and display this. So I'd highly recommend joining it if you want to develop your soft and technical skills, since both those are important within the field. So for any students who want to learn more about it, I'd be happy to talk to you about it and why you should join. But that's it from me. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you, Daniel. And I think we've got a slide that Heather can bring up for the contact information. So Heather Bosworth is the key contact person if you're interested in the Keeley Academy. And there were some questions in chat. I don't know if, Martin, you might want to address this, when the next cohort begins, and are there any prerequisites?
So I can speak to that. We've had two cohorts. The first one began in the winter quarter. The second one began in the autumn quarter. we expect to make the announcement soon as to what the recruiting timetable on that is going to be. So if you are interested in learning more about this and being, registered for being contacted, please, let Heather know. If you want to really understand what goes on inside the academy and what are the different activities that we have you do, you can contact me or you can contact students who are in the academy who will be more than glad to share that with you. We fine tune every cohort, what changes that we think we need to make based on input that we get from students who are in it and based on changing insights and requirements, that industry has for us. But it is a 5 to 6 quarter program. So to be eligible for this, you need to be planning to stay at DePaul at least for another 5 to 6 quarters after you start.
All right, thank you, Martin. So we've got one final slide. And Heather Bosworth, as I mentioned, is one of the key staff members here in the Department of Finance and Real Estate. And she was instrumental in putting together this information session. So thank you to Heather and all the students who helped market this program and really spread the word. So appreciate that. Heather is also really instrumental in our social media. Heather, do you just want to share any closing thoughts and then maybe also promote these social media opportunities?
Yeah, thanks, Professor Black. I just want to thank everyone also for being here today and listening to the different opportunities in finance and real estate. I want to underscore that there are so many student mentors and faculty mentors here to speak to you if you'd like to get more information. And the students really mean it when they say you don't have to be a member of the organizations to pop in on an event and learn more. They're great resources to tell you more about the programming options. We advertise and promote, just like everybody else, a lot of our events and opportunities on social media. So really encourage you to plug in. The advantage to that is you don't have to read as many of my emails if you pay attention and connect on social media. So we'd love to have you there. Go to our Linktree, both on real estate page, Instagram page, and the finance Instagram page to see more ways to connect. We have blog sites and we have other ways to stay connected. So yeah, looking forward to talking with all of you more and encouraging you to reach out with any questions.
Excellent. Thank you, Heather. And Tom Barry, any concluding thoughts from the chair?
No, just once again, I want to thank everybody. It was excellent presentations, and hopefully, if we have any questions, you can reach out to me as well, and we'll get the info to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Tom. So we are about out of time. Myself and Heather and a few others are happy to stick around and answer any questions just here on Zoom if you want to stick around to do so. We will also, this session is being recorded and we will be distributing it. So if for some reason you're not sure whether you're going to receive that or not, you can send Heather an email and she's happy to send that to you directly. But thank you for your time, and we hope this was helpful, and we look forward to seeing you back at DePaul and in the Department of Finance and Real Estate. Thank you and take care.